Hi, everybody. I put up a video and I took some pictures of my eyes yesterday and my face. Now, isn't this interesting? So, what I was showing you yesterday, and I started thinking about this image right here, where it looks like a hand and fingers reaching out like this, coming from this way. You see how that looks like an index finger? Do, do. And then that looks like the hand is right here. Now, also what I was looking at is this person right here, but I also noticed that I think there's somebody right there as well. But there is somebody right there. Now, when I seen this, I was like, that looks like the color burl. Now, let me take you to burl. That is burl, the color of burl. So in the Bible, beryl is a precious stone often described as a green, blue, or sea green color. As mentioned in several passages, symbolizes beauty, value, and divine glory, and appears on the high priest's breastplate. In Ezekiel's vision, and one of the foundations of heavenly Jerusalem. Now, isn't that interesting? And and another entry in Ezekiel's vision. So the vision, my eyes, right? Isn't that an interesting kind of like parable or like riddle? So when we go to Daniel 10, then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, where loins were girdled with fine gold of Uphaz. His body also was like beryl, in his face as the appearance of lightning, in his eyes the lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like the color of polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of the multitude. Now, see, this is the vision that I was in. I couldn't remember if it was in 2020. I couldn't remember if it was in May or if it was in March, but I was really focused on March. Now, this is so interesting because that's the same year. That's that's not right. This was on October 19th, 2020, when I was at God's feet. The one that happened in March or May earlier in 2020 was when I woke up in a bathtub. Okay, so that's why I was looking at on the 4th and 20th day of the first month. Well, the first month is actually March. March is spring. And then, of course, Valentine's Day, February would be the 12th month and January would be the 11th month. But that's Gregorian. But on the Roman calendar, it starts on spring, starts March as the first month. And then goes April, it's the second month. March, April, then May, the third month. So the first month would be March. So it'd be like March 24th. So it's so interesting because the Gregorian calendar that we use, would be the third month. But anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. But that's when I was telling you that I was at God's feet and I was putting my left foot. Right next to his, because his foot was sitting right here, his left foot, and I had my left foot right here, and I put it up next to him, and I was getting ready to reach down and touch his foot, because it was just this a brass color, but it looked really gold, and he had like these Roman sandals, those laced up sandals going up, and those flat like sandal kind of shoes. It was so cool. And I was barefooted. And then that's when he had picked me up. But as soon as I was getting ready to reach down and touch his foot, I was like, it's like I've become aware. And I'm like, oh, And then that's when he picked me up from the backside of my, and then showed me all these screens like this, but they were bigger on the wall of my notes and stuff. I've got like a pile of notes right here of, things that I've, written down through my thoughts, through drawings and stuff. And those were posted on these screens because remember when he lifted me up and we were on this big, huge hoverboard and we rose up and I was standing there and I was looking straight at the screen, and I was like looking at it. The first one was a periodic table. The second screen, I looked at it, I was like, oh, someone's got the same handwriting as me. And then we go to the third screen and I'm like, these are my notes. And I look back at the first screen because we're still hovering up in the air. And I'm like, these are my notes. This is my handwriting. And I turned and looked at Archangel Michael because he had this book open. And I turned back around and we go to the next screen. There's more and more. And then we go to the last screen. And the last screen was so interesting because I can't remember the last screen. The last screen was all dark. And it was like when I got up near it, I couldn't see anything, but I went up to it and it was like I was looking through. It's like I was putting my head looking through the screen, looking down at something. And I turned and looked at Prince Michael and I looked again. It was like I was like in space, somewhere. I don't know. I think I was on the moon or something like that, but I was looking back. And I think I was looking back down at Earth. It was so interesting, but I was looking down at something. And then when I turned back to look at Archangel Michael, all of a sudden I got pulled into God. God pulled me into him and I lit up like this color, this golden color of light. And then I was like in awe, that was just amazing. My whole body was tingling, everything. And then his last words were, I'll meet you on the second plane. And when I was trying to snap out of it, because the feeling of the golden light was so orgasmic. It was so awesome. It was like so much love that I remember going, what, the second, what, second plane? Me, what second plane? And then it was kind of left there. So when I was looking at this in my eye, of the changes that are happening and been happening. Oh, look, there's this thing too. I wonder what that is. But then I was like thinking, I wonder if this is God's hand because this is Burl. I don't know. It just looks like a hand. What does it look like to you guys? And then there's this guy right here. I know on a bigger scale, I think I don't know, there's these small ears back there on the bigger scale, but you can see other images up through here. I don't know how well you can see them, but there are other images that are happening up there. But this guy right here, I'm just curious. I wonder if that's my inner child. I don't know. That's what comes to my mind when I see. And this is my right eye because that's where I have my scar right there. And it almost looks like this right here. It looks like from my left eye reaching over, it's like he's reaching all the way over. I don't know, but it looks so interesting how this is lined out. And again, this is where I think there's a being right here. Yeah, you can see him right there. And then there's these little faces right here. Now up here, I think There's somebody right there, but I'm not too sure. Now, the interesting thing about this is a couple of days ago, there was a number in my eye. Now let me save this. Or, what happened to my, what happened? Okay. Is it this eye? No, that's the same image. What happened here? Oh, this eye. Yeah, where it looks like there's like a number or something right there. And that was just a couple of days ago. See if I can find which one that was. I think it was this one. There, it's this one. Let's see. Where's the scar? Right there. It's my right eye. There's my scar. See, the pictures flip around. Every time the phone does an upgrade, it flips around. So on my right eye, there was this number here just a couple of days ago when I did this. And now today, or yesterday, when I took a picture of my eye, it shows this. The number's not there no more. Let's see, which one? That's this one. That's my right eye. Oh, that's because that's my left eye. Sorry, I got that wrong. That's why it's not that eye. So this is my right eye. It would be here in my right eye if the number was still there. I don't see it though. There's something. Oh, yeah, there's a face right there. Isn't that wild? There's a face right there. And there's this face right here. And I think there's a face right there too. What do you think?